Hi everybody, nice to see you. This is Julie and I'm going to be working with a foundational class, Saturday morning class. I hope everybody's doing well. I know there's a lot going on these days, school starting and the weather is even changing just a little bit, so you might start to notice changes in your body and how your mind and body is reacting to this time of year. So just being aware of it is the first step to being present and finding yourself and your mind in the moment versus allowing the mind to wander too far from the past or into the future. So let's get started on our mat. We're going to be working on balance. So I thought we could start on our backs. So I'll talk you through it. And let's just start on our backs this morning. It's always kind of a nice place to start when you get on your mat, regardless of what form of practice you're doing. So just lay on your back and extend your arms long and reach from your fingertips and your toes. Maybe lift your shoulders and drop them down. It might feel good to bend your knees and lift your hips and tuck your tail and gently start to feel, how is your back feeling today? And maybe take your feet out to the inner edges of the mat and just let your knees draw in. And close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes and feel. Bring all your senses, all your awareness onto your mat. Start by feeling, how do your hips feel? Can you feel your spine grounded into your mat? Could you make an adjustment in order to feel your entire spine grounded? And then once you've adjusted yourself to find a place of comfort and balance, extend your legs out. And maybe reach again from your fingertips to your toes. And gently draw your knees into your chest. Again, feeling your spine, maybe give it a little massage. Feeling your jaw relaxed, your tongue released. And extend your legs to the sky using your hands to support your legs reaching up. You take your arms up and over your head. If you can keep your legs lifted. And then draw your knees back into your chest. You hug them in just a little further. And while your knees are hugged in, allow your knees to roll to the right and just resting on your right arm, so extend your right arm so you could rest your right side of your head on your arm and take a breath here. And using your hands to lift yourself up. And come into, I'm going to face you, come into Sukhasana, an easy seat. So either lotus, half lotus, you could stack your heels to the pelvis and just lengthen through the spine. Maybe your eyes are still closed. And take a deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth, just let it go. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Now breathing in and out through the nose only. Inhale through the nose, take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh and gaze into the direction of your right shoulder or the right corners of your eyes. And then exhale. And inhale again in through the nose. And exhale through the nose, twisting. And one more inhale through the nose. And exhale. And coming back to center, find your breath. Inhale, gaze to the tip of the nose. And exhale. And creating balance, going to the other side. Take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh, twisting, gazing in the direction of the left shoulder, gazing out through the left eyes, taking a deep inhale and exhale, twisting a little further as you inhale, exhale, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist further, and then coming back to center, take a deep inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, take your hands out in front of you. Maybe walk your hands forward, taking your forearms to the ground, maybe bringing your elbows down, making your hands in prayer position, and just start by resting your forehead on your hands. And as you breathe deeply, and with time you may be able to walk your hands out and just let your forehead come down to the ground, taking 2 more breaths. And walking your hands back to lift your torso up. So coming into an active child's pose, we're going to, if your knees aren't opened already, it may be that all you need to do is roll over to your hands and knees. Keep your knees open wide. Bring your toes to touch. Shift your hips back to your heels. Extend your arms long out in front of you. And maybe bring your forehead down, breathing deeply. If your forearms come down, your elbows are grounded, that is fine too. If you'd like to take the hands in prayer position back up and over your head, working your elbows forward and your chest through your shoulders. So wherever you are, take 3 more breaths. For 1, 2, and 3. And releasing your hands down and bringing yourself up to your hands and knees. So from your hands and knees, turn your wrists so your fingertips are facing your knees. And we worked on this last week. If you were following along with the videos, we're going to take a deep inhale and round into the back. Take your gaze to your navel. And then exhale, drop your belly, lift your chest through your shoulders, gaze up. And then inhale, round into the back. Push down through the wrist. And exhale, pivot through the hips. Gaze up. And again, inhale into your cat. And exhale into a cow. Now taking your hands, fingertips facing forward. Take a deep inhale from neutral spine, just a nice long spine. And exhale, round into the cat. And inhale, soften to cow. And exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. And begin to bend through the elbows as you move through your cat and cow. Again, rolling through the hips. Let your head go, let your jaw relax. Breathing deeply. Either way, inhale, cat or cow, just moving with your breath. Traditionally, we do exhale into your cat and inhale into your cows. Maybe rolling your hips both directions. Let your head go, your jaw relax. And we're going to come into a twisted puppy. So opening your knees, toes touching behind you. Ground down through the left hand and reach your right arm up. Gaze to your palm and weaving your right arm through the left. Bring your right ear down. Extend long through the left arm. And maybe draw your left arm up and back behind you, reaching for your inner right thigh. Breathing for 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Using that left hand to lift yourself back up. Let's go to the other side. So open to the left side. Weave that arm through the right. Extend long through the right arm. Reach back behind you maybe and reach for your inner left thigh. Just rock into your ear, into your shoulder. Twist through the rib cage for 3, for 1. Gaze to the right corners of your eyes, 2. And 3. And bringing your right hand down. Just make your way onto your stomach, onto your belly. And lengthen now from your fingertips to your toes. Stretch it out. Maybe tuck your toes under, find more length in the front of your legs. Draw your chin in towards your chest. Reach long through the crown of your head. Take a breath here, deep inhale. We'll exhale. On the next inhale, take your hands back behind you, interlace your palms. If that's not happening, you can take your wrist, your elbows, and on the first inhale, just lengthen. So just reach your hands back, keep the tops of the feet down, and exhale. And then inhale, keep the tops of the feet, the shins, the knees, the hips down, and lift up. And exhale, lower down. And inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. And once more, inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. And this time, if you'd like to lift up your toes, your thighs, and your chest, go there. So inhale, lift up and hold it for 3 breaths, for 1, 2, and 3. One more breath. And exhale, lower all the way down. Release your hands. Now bring your hands to your chest. So make sure your hands aren't too close to where your shoulder alignment is, but walk your hands back closer to your chest. And draw your elbows towards one another and then back towards your heels. So your elbows are kind of working in towards the rib cage. Now pressing down from the ground, keeping the tops of the feet down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. And inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. So your chest is leading forward, your shoulders are lifting up and back. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower down. So this time, keep the knees down, straighten the arms. As you inhale, lift up, exhale, lower down. Again, inhale, lift up, exhale, lower down. One more inhale, lift up, exhale, lower down. Now lift yourself up and take your hips back into a child's pose, this time keeping your knees hip distance apart. So inhale, lift up to your hands and knees. Shift your hips back towards your heels. Reach long through your fingertips and take a child's pose. And take 3 breaths here. So inhale, lengthen, and exhale, shift your hips back towards your heels. Again, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, hips lengthen back so that your spine is reaching longer. One more time, the chin's gently drawn in, and the crown is reaching forward as your ears are to the inside of your arms. And then inhale, lift yourself up to your hands and knees. So from your hands and knees, we're going to make our way into a downward facing dog just by tucking your toes under and lifting your hips up. And maybe your heels are not grounding back and down to the ground. Perhaps for some, it may help to walk your feet a little closer to your hands, allowing your heels to drop down. And then just play with it by bending alternate knees, and just what we call walking our dog, just really stretching it out, waking up the body. So play with stepping your feet back, working them forward, just finding balance with the breath and with the body. So if you find hang time on one side of the body, then hang time means holding it. So say you bend your knee and straighten one leg and just hold that and take a few breaths before changing it out. And then finding your center as you lift both heels up and gaze between your hands. And then exhale, lower both heels down, back and down, gaze into your navel. And inhale, lift the heels. And exhale, drop them back and down. Again, inhale, lift the heels. And exhale, drop them back and down. And gaze forward and slowly start to step your feet to your hands. So take your time. Feet to the front of the mat, and step your feet out, hip distance or wider. Now take a half lift. So inhale, take your hands up your shins, draw your shoulders back, straighten through your legs, but keep your knees soft, micro bend. And then exhale, lead your chest forward, and then fold out and over your legs and bend your knees. Maybe your chest is glued to your thighs. Maybe you're just working in that direction. Let your head be heavy. Your arms can just dangle or reach if you would like for your inner elbows, framing your head with your forearms. Feel your head nice and heavy. Feel your feet grounded, rooting down, and take your gaze forward and back, north and south. Your breath is leading the movement. In whatever form is in front, bring it to the back and roll your gaze side to side. Release your hands down. So if you need blocks, put blocks underneath your hands so your palms can ground down And keeping both knees bent, just reach the right arm up. You can gaze down if it's too much on your neck, or draw your chin to your chest and then roll your gaze to your right palm and take 2 breaths for 1, 2. And the right hand comes down, both knees are bent. Ground down through the right palm, the right foot. You can use blocks. And lift the left arm up. Gaze down or draw your chin into your chest as you gaze towards your left corners of your eyes up to your palms. And breathing. And bring your left hand back down as you trace your hands up your legs. Keep your chin drawn in, roll your tailbone under, bend your knees a little bit further, and just feel your way as you make your way up to standing with the head being last to lift. So this is a foundational class and we're going to move slowly, but I've been working with you all for a while, so I want you to continue to build strength in your body so that you can continue to move a little deeper into some of the different asanas. But again, this will be very basic, so maybe just move the weight from foot to foot, just rolling your hips in one direction. And just again, start to feel when you put more weights into one foot and then the other, maybe even just shifting side to side. So we're going to start in a tree pose again. You can face the front of the mat, or I'm facing you so you can see me. So tree pose, your options is your foot to your shin, your foot below the knee, your foot up to the inner thigh, hands to the heart, staying here, finding your breath. Maybe reaching your arms up. So gaze to the tip of the nose, or gaze to the tip of the nose and follow the gaze to the mat, to the ground, down below. Notice is your breath steady. The clearer your mind, the more present your mind, the more balanced the body. Maybe reach your arms up. Bring your palms together. Bring your hands to your heart. And cross the right shin on top of the left knee. So again, we're dealing with balance through our breath, steady gaze, and just stay upright here. Hands to the heart. You can gently let the elbows draw into the side. Maybe continue to bend a little deeper into the standing leg, into that knee. And if you want to go further, you can fold forward. If you lose your balance, then just either drop your foot or drop your hands down for balance. And see if you can take 3 breaths here for 1, 2, 3. And slowly lift up. Lift your knee. And step the right foot beside the left. A lot of times I notice if my balance is off, it could be, especially when there's a lot going on in my mind, when I'm trying to figure things out, or if I'm saying one thing but my mind is focused somewhere else. It's really, you're kind of walking on a balance beam, but you're not going to be super steady. So yoga is about awareness. So find what is it that's causing imbalances in the body. Sometimes it's physical. You're dealing with a hip issue or knee issue. That can throw you out of balance as well. But sometimes even when you're dealing with a physical issue, you can create a balance by the imbalances. So you have to just play with that. So the left foot either to the inner right shin, below the knee, taking the foot up to the inner right thigh. Hands can be at the heart. Find a steady gaze, a steady breath. Play with your arms. Some people like their arms out for balance, opening and spreading through the collarbone. Or they like to widen their arms out and just still keeping the chest nice and open. Or reach towards the sky as if you could feel the clouds as they are just moving by. Maybe roll your wrist. Maybe even gently move within the breeze of the leaves. And bringing the hands to the heart again. And then crossing the left shin on top of the right knee, putting a bend into that right knee. Staying here with the balance and the breath. Notice if you can engage your core muscles. That will stabilize you using the core muscles. The Mula Bandha, the Uddiyana Bandha as you fold forward. Center of the pelvic floor. Below the navel. Draw in. Take 3 breaths here. And just as slowly as you went into it, you want to come out of it and uncross the shin and come back to standing. So turning back to the front of my mat, we're going to move through some classic sun salutations, and the first one we're going to do a little bit slower. So in the classic sun A's, your knee comes down. If you cannot bring your knee down, then you can just hover your knee, which is actually sometimes more challenging than bringing the knee down. But let's get started. So Samastitihi, equal standing, equal grounding through your feet. Lift your chest up. Lift your rib cage up. And on the first inhale, reach your arms up and over. Gaze to your palms. And exhale slowly. Fold forward and reach for the ground. Inhale, half lift. Gazing to the tip of the nose. Exhale, step your right foot back and bring your right knee down and reach your arms up so your torso lifts into Anjaneyasana. And gaze up. Take a breath here. Now reach your hands forward towards your front foot and straighten and shift your left hip back as you lead your chest out and over the legs. See if your hips can stay level. So draw the left hip back, roll the right hip forward, lead your chest forward, and either your front foot is pointing to stretch the front of the shin or flexing to stretch into that hamstring breathing. One more full breath. And coming back over into a low runner's lunge. So just keeping your hands down, framing your front foot, or you can also take your hands into a fist, or if you have a block, you can place your hands on your block. Now just bend the back knee and work the right heel towards the right buttocks. And that may be as far as you want to go. If you feel that you can go further, either putting your right hand down on a block or on your mat and reach back for this foot, drawing the heel closer to your right buttocks. You're going to get a really pretty intense quad stretch on the right side as you twist in towards your left leg. And just breathe. Gaze either down or roll your chin and gaze to the left corners of your eyes for one more full breath. And then releasing the hand from the foot, tuck the toes under, lift the back knee, step the front foot back, and you're in your plank position. Now just drop your knees down and move through your chaturanga. Maybe drop your chest if that's how you move into cobra and back into a downward facing dog. You can move through your knees or roll over your feet into downward facing dog, gaze to your navel. Take a full breath here. Now step your right foot in between your hands. Take a nice deep lunge. Now drop your back knee down and inhale, lift your torso up, reach your arms up, gaze up, and take a breath here. Now inhale your hands forward and down, lift your back knee and step your left foot to your right, and then fold out over your legs. And inhale, reach up, palms up and over your head together, or forward and together, and back to standing Samasthiti. So we'll go starting on the left side. Inhale, reach up, gaze up, stretch it up, exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, half lift. And stepping the left foot back, come into a nice deep runner's lunge and drop the back knee down. Now slowly rise up, arms come out and up, Anjaneyasana, gaze into your thumbs, take a breath here, finding balance. And bringing your hands forward and down from this lunge, start to shift that right hip back, left hip forward, straighten through the right leg, maybe flex the foot or point the toe. Top of the foot toes can be tucked on the back foot or the top of the foot down. Again, any foot variation, either working, just noticing, maybe trying all the different variations, point flex, and see how those slight movements change the dynamics of the posture for you. Take one more breath here. And then rolling back into that lunge, using a block if you have or need a block. Maybe just bend, start by bending that back knee. So you're on the front of the knee, you're not bending it directly on the kneecap. And the left heel is drawing towards the left buttocks. And stay there. Or take your hand back, your right hand would come back for the left foot. And there's a twisting action that would occur as you gaze towards the right shoulder or the right eyes, corners of your eyes, and breathe for 3, 2, and 1. So gaze down to your front foot, release your hand in your foot, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step your right foot back into plank position. You can drop your knees or keep them lifted. Move into a chaturanga. Press from the earth, upward facing dog. Roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Now step your left foot forward into a runner's lunge and drop your back knee down, top of the foot down. Very carefully engage your abs. Rise up, bandhas engaged. Gaze up, Anjaneyasana. Take a breath here. And bringing your hands forward and down, framing your front foot. Tuck your back toes under. And gently step your back foot to your front foot. And fold out and over your legs. And then slowly trace the hands up the legs as you rise up. Bring your arms up and over, gaze to your thumbs, and come standing back at your mat in Samasthiti. So let's take 2 sun salutations in a traditional style, and that would mean not dropping the knee back and down. I'll talk you through it. This is more what you're used to, perhaps without the knee going back and down in the classic style. So let's give it a go. Inhale, arms forward and up, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, reach for the ground. Inhale, half lift, gaze to the horizon. Exhale, step back into your plank position, and either knees dropped or lifted. Draw your chest through your shoulders, elbows back by the rib cage, and hover your chest over the mat. And then press with your arms into an upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, hips up and back into a downward facing dog. And take 2 breaths here, maybe stepping your feet a little closer to your hands. Feet are hip distance apart. Chest is drawn to chest, chin to chest, gaze to navel. One more breath. And gaze into your hands and slowly hop, step, jump your feet to your hands. Come into a half lift. Exhale, fold it in. And inhale, rise up slowly, reaching your arms up, drawing the energy up, prana, and exhale, reaching forward, folding forward, finding a half lift, gazing to the tip of the nose, step back into your plank. Again, you can drop your knees or keep your knees lifted and just hover in chaturanga, pressing away, rolling over the tops of the feet for up dog, tucking the toes back into a downward facing dog, and take 2 full deep breaths, grounding through the heels, even if they're not touching the mat, they're working back and down evenly, the knees can be soft. Your sit bones are lifting high, biceps to the ears, your gaze to the navel. The breath is free and easy. Now walk your hands to your feet. And slowly trace your hands up your legs. So we're going to move into what we call the dancer pose. So you can start, here I'll face you first, by bending, putting weight into your left foot and bending your right knee and reaching for the top of the foot with your right hand. So you can find balance by grounding your left fingertips down to the mat, or you can reach back equally, holding onto either side of your back foot and just keeping your knees coming together, maybe just kicking your foot into your hands. If you want to go further, maybe extend the left arm up, drawing your knees towards one another, finding a gaze that is steady, and begin to kick your foot into your hand, and maybe use your back hand to lift your heel up, and maybe some people like to come forward. So it's your dancer pose. So whatever is feeling good and steady to you, go there for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. And just release your foot and your hands back down. Maybe wiggle a little bit on your hips. So go to the other side by straightening that left leg, bending the knee, reaching for the top of the foot, or reaching around and clasping it with both hands, working your shoulder blades together, your chest open, your knees together, and maybe just kick your foot into your hands and let your hands lift your back leg up. You can stay there, or you can reach with your right hand up, kick the foot into the hand, go into your form of dancer pose, gazing, where you can hold steady for 3, 2, 1. And slowly come out of it. Good. So from here we're going to go into eagle legs. So bending your knees and crossing your right knee over your left knee. Now you can take your right foot down to the block, or you can cross behind the calf, hooking the foot, and reach your arms out. You can bring your forearms together or cross your left elbow over the right and reach your arms up. And breathe here, gazing up towards your fingertips for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. So if you begin to lose balance, you can always drop the right foot down, use it as a kickstand, hug your thighs together, and then start to curl in. So fold out and over your thighs. Keep your belly in, your abs engaged, your core engaged, your bandhas engaged, your mind steady. 1 more breath. And slowly come up and uncross your arms and uncross your legs. So the other side. Side view, bending your knees, then crossing the left knee over the right, either hooking to bind or taking the left foot down to stabilize as though it's a kickstand supporting you here. Either your forearms come together or your right elbow on top of your left, bringing your palms to face one another. And then bringing them together, lift the elbows up, forearms forward, hug the thighs, squeeze the thighs, gaze up. Take 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. If you want to fold forward, elbows go forward and down. Again, if you can stay with your eagle legs with any variation. Just rounding, stretching out your back body for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3, and then inhale, lift yourself back up, release your arms, uncross your legs, and wiggle out through the hips. Now coming back to standing at the front of your mat. We're going to reach our arms up, move through a vinyasa, and we're going to go through a series of flow postures. Arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, and just reaching for the ground. Inhale your half lift, and stepping back into your plank position. So from plank position, dropping your right knee down, take your right foot off the mat, or go into side plank without the knees dropped. The left foot would extend out in line with the right knee, and the left arm up, and take 2 breaths here for 1, 2. And coming back, either, again, full plank, so you either drop your left knee or keep your knees lifted and just roll to your side plank if you know it. Vashisthasana on the right, left hand down, right hand up for 2 breaths for 1. And 2. Bring your right hand down. Here you are in a high plank position. Just drop your knees and shift your hips back to your heels and take a breath here in child's pose for 2 breaths. 1 and 2. Now rising back to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. Now lift your right leg up, flex through the heel, reach through the heel, as if you're pushing into a wall. Your foot heel is about in line with your left hip. Now point the toe, extend the leg, bend the knee, and stack the hips. And roll your ankle one direction, and then the next, just feeling this lovely stretching action with the breath. Extending the right leg back and down. Let's do the other side. So lifting the left leg into a 3-legged dog. Push through the heel. And then point through the toe, bend the knee, open the knee up to the sky, maybe gaze underneath your right arm. Maybe you'll see your toe as you roll your toe in one direction. And then the next. And extend that leg out the side, the right. Lifting the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Draw the right knee into center for 3 times. 1. Inhale, 3-legged. Hug it in. 2. Inhale, 3-legged. Hug it in and step the foot through in between your hands. Coming into a low runner's lunge. Now taking the back edge of the back heel, ground it down. The front heel is aligned with the back heel or the inner arch of the back foot. And rise up into a warrior 1 position with the front knee bent, the back leg straight, the arms up, and take 2 breaths here for 1. 2. Now just open into your warrior 2 position. So you're gazing out. I'm going to turn around to face you. Gazing out and over your right fingertips. Breathing deeply. Try not to let this inner thigh roll in. So keep it open from your inner thigh. Reverse your warrior, left hand down, right arm up. Gazing to your palms for 2 breaths. And coming back into a warrior 2. And straightening your right leg, setting up for triangle pose. So just extending out over the right leg. The hand can come to wherever it reaches on the leg, to the toe, to the shin, to the below the knee, to the ground. Wherever you want to take your triangle. Bring your left arm up, Utthita Trikonasana, gazing to your fingertips for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. And then rising into your warrior 2 and coming into a side angle stretch. So reaching your hands beyond the knee, resting your forearm on the knee or bringing your hand to the pinky edge side of the foot if you can go down that deeply while keeping your chest open. And just reach your left arm up and over the ear. If you need to reach up towards the sky, you can go there, or extend through the back of the arm, gaze down, out or up or towards your palm, breathing deeply for 3, 2, 1, and then rising back into your warrior 2 position. So from here, you're going to take your hands down, frame your front foot, and roll your back foot into lifting the back heel up, step the right foot back, and here you are into a downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale, the left leg up and out behind you. So 3 times drawing the knee to the forehead. Inhale, extend it out. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, hug it in. And step your foot in between your hands. Maybe stay low, just feel that nice stretching action of the runner's lunge. And then lifting up into warrior 1, if you're Vajrasana 1. So the back heel is grounded, the front knee is bent, the back leg is straight, and then reaching arms forward and up into your warrior 1 position. Your front heel is aligned with the inner arch of the back foot. The heart is open, maybe the palms are together. Take 2 more breaths here for 1. And 2. And opening your arms out, teeth them out, gaze out over your left fingertips, coming into your warrior 2 position, reaching in both directions equally. Reverse the warrior, the right hand down, the left hand up and over, gazing to your palm. Back into a warrior 2 position and straightening your front leg, reaching into triangle, so the hand to the shin or to the toe or to the ground. And the right arm up, gaze down, out or up, and breathe for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. Putting a bend into that left knee, come back into warrior 2. And then side angle stretch. Tita Parsvottanasana, taking the forearm to the knee, the right arm up and over. Any variation that you would like to take here, breathing deeply for 3 breaths. 2 and 3. And then coming back into your warrior 2 position. Just windmill your hands to either side of your front foot and step your front foot back and then lift it up into 3-legged dog and drop it aside the right. So working into a pigeon pose. We're going to lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Draw the right knee to the right wrist. Either bring your shin parallel to the front of the mat or take the heel closer to your left hip. Lengthen through the back leg. Use your hands to open through the heart. And then fold forward out and over your leg. Taking 5 breaths here. So each inhale, you should count 3, count each exhale 3 or 4 count, taking 5. After you've taken your 5 breaths, use your hands to lift yourself up and just roll out onto the right thigh, the outer edge of your right thigh. Now take your back leg out to the side so that you can bring it forward and cross it over your right knee. Now hugging your arms in towards your chest, or hugging your knees to your chest. So take 3 breaths here for 1, 2, 3. Now hugging your left knee, maybe your foot even comes off the ground so that you can twist in towards your thigh, keeping your spine long, gazing to the left corners of your eyes for 3 breaths. 2 and 3. So now uncross that left ankle. Reach for either side of the foot. And just taking your shin parallel to the mat, using your hands to support you, draw your chest closer to your thigh and just stay right here for 3 breaths. Just hugging your knee back in towards your left armpit for 1, 2, and 3. Now releasing your hand from your foot, cross at your ankles and roll to your hands and knees. From your hands and knees, do a mad cat, so round into your back, draw your chin to your chest, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and here you are back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in your down dog. Now lifting your left leg up, go to the other side. Draw the left knee to the left elbow, slide it to the wrist. Determine how deeply you want your shin, your heel to be in towards your right hip. Use your hands, so it's always good to use your hands to open through the chest and lengthen, square the hips, and then fold out and over your left leg, maybe bringing your forearms down. You can make a palm with your hands and rest your forehead on your palms, or you can reach for your elbows, take your forehead down, or extend your arms nice and long, and just let your chest come down to the ground, taking your 5 breaths wherever you choose to be here. Use your hands to lift yourself up and fall onto the outer edge of that left thigh, taking your back leg out to the side, then crossing it forward and over to the other side of your left leg. Start by just hugging your chest to your inner right thigh, working your shoulders back, lengthening through your spine, staying here for a few breaths. And maybe cradling that leg as you twist, gazing towards the right shoulder, taking your eyes into the corners of the eyes again for 3 breaths. And then gazing forward, uncrossing your foot from your leg, binding your front foot, lifting your shin, hugging your knee into your armpit, staying here as you breathe for 3. And releasing your hand. So now, taking your legs out straight out in front of you, moving the flesh from your sitting bones. Reach your arms up and fold out and over your legs, going to your toes, or just taking your hands down your legs. So taking a nice gentle forward fold for 3 breaths. So inhale and exhale 1. And inhale. Exhale 2. And inhale. Exhale 3. And using your hands to lift yourself back up. Just gently draw your knees in. And using your hands to support yourself as you come into a boat pose for 5 breaths. So either hands are supporting you or by your legs reaching beyond your heels for 5 breaths for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just slowly lower your heels down, extend your legs long out in front, and slowly make your way onto your back. Once you're on your back, again, reach long from your fingertips to your toes. Stretch it out. And coming into an inversion, you're going to hug your knees in. Maybe take your hands underneath your hips, which will support your lower back as you extend your legs up to the sky. For those of you that want a shoulder stand, you can go into shoulder stand. Otherwise, I'm going to stay right here and count out 10 breaths for 1. This is Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. You can even take your legs up the wall. If you had an ottoman, you can bend your knees and just let your heels drop onto the pillow or the ottoman for 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'If your hands are underneath your hips, take your hands out from underneath your hips and draw your knees into your chest and lift up to your legs, so hug it in. And lower your head down. Now come into a happy baby, either reaching for the inner edges of your feet, the outer edges of your feet. Draw your knees in towards your armpits and just roll side to side. Your feet can be facing forward. Your feet could be facing to the sky in a fuller, happy baby with a smile on your face. And then just release your hands from your feet. Lower your feet to the ground. Extend your legs out and find yourself into Shavasana. So either your knees can be bent, letting your knees drop in towards one another, feeling your lower back grounded, or your legs are nice and long and open, So your eyes are closed, you can cover your eyes, relax your jaw, release your tongue. The breath is now moving fluidly from the crown to the toes and throughout the body, up and down the spine. Maybe take a cleansing breath here, so take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh out any tension in the body. Looking for a sense of stillness in Shavasana. The body's heavy, grounded. The mind is free and still. Staying in Shavasana for 5 minutes or longer. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana so that you can extend the length of your time as you have the time to stay in Shavasana. Hope that you come out of this practice feeling more steady, finding ease throughout your day, throughout your week, and namaste.